Let's go live to our political editor, Andrew Clennell. Now, Andrew, developing news this afternoon on Radio 2GB with Ben Fordham, the Prime Minister, admitting for the first time that Brian Houston of Hillsong his name was put forward to the White House for that visit.
Absolutely did, on the Ben Fordham show on 2GB, Kieran, and I guess this is important, or it's interesting, because Brian Houston is still under police investigation over allegations he didn't report alleged child abuse involving his father. So the question's always been, why would you invite someone who was the subject of such serious allegations being investigated by police to the White House, a mate of yours, effectively? And when this was raised with him on the trip, he said it was gossip and wouldn't answer the question as to whether he invited him or not. It came up in an American newspaper article that the White House had decided Mr Houston wasn't fit to visit at that time. Mr Houston later posted on social media a subsequent visit to the White House. But Ben Fordham asked the Prime Minister in this interview about half an hour ago, did he know about the police investigation at the time the invite went out? And the Prime Minister said, quote, "These are not the things I follow closely," unquote. He pointed out Mr Houston was leader of quite a large and popular church in Australia. Let's have a listen to that conversation with Ben Fordham, if we can.
Did you seek an invitation to the White House state dinner for Brian Houston?
Well, I've known Brian for a long time, and Hillsong Church has a very big network of churches all across the United States. And their ministry, when it comes to their music and so many other things, have been a very big, it's probably the single largest church organisation that is known in the United States. And so Brian Houston actually turned up to the White House a few months later at the invitation directly of the White House. On that occasion, we put forward a number of names. I mean, that included Brian, but not everybody whose names were put forward were invited. But the point about this is, I mean, they're a very large church. I mean, they're well known in the United States. And a lot of people in the United States go along to their services every week. So I'm not quite sure what the accusation is about that.
Well, as I said, it was relevant because, as it turns out, he was under police investigation, and he still is, according to New South Wales Police. Would it be fair to say you weren't aware of that at the time?
No, these are not things I follow closely. All I know is that they're a very large and a very well-attended and well-supported organisation here in Australia.
Well, it's good, Kieran, the Prime Minister's explained his actions there, and I guess the point is he should have answered the question straight in the first place. The fact that he didn't suggests that he felt somewhat embarrassed by the invitation, Kieran.
He was also asked, Andrew, about the panic buying around the coronavirus. What's the latest on that?
Well, it's just extraordinary, the anecdotes you're hearing out of Sydney, for example. I know a friend of my family's has been looking around for hours in shops looking for toilet paper, and the Prime Minister in his press conference today said that he'd been moved to phone Coles and Woolworths bosses to ensure they had enough supply of goods that people are stockpiling because they're so fearful of the coronavirus. He even said that the toilet paper manufacturer was putting on an extra factory in South Australia to deal with it. But the Prime Minister just trying to plead calm here, saying there's only 34 cases in Australia. Of those, 21 people are now clear. And there's no need for all this stockpiling. There's no need for panic. And he made the point to the party room this morning, Kieran, that really there just needs to be one source of truth here. And some of the reporting that's occurring at the moment is making people more panicked than they should be about the spread of the virus in Australia at the moment.